Hi guys, if there's anybody in here. I came on here today to sit there and do a live stream to pretty much introduce myself, as well as like answer any questions that people might have when it comes to donating. I am a phlebotomist. I also worked as a EMT and a paramedic on an ambulance. So I'm sitting there and seeing all the stuff going on right now going, we trained for this all way ahead of time. Like, we started, at least when I was in the field, we started doing all of the drills and everything in 2006, about there, where we did actually do live drills of pandemic responses throughout our area. So when I was working for the about worst ambulance company in the whole city, they included us as well. And, you know, we had to work with the hospital service, the police service, the police department, the fire department, and also the other ambulance service, which was attached to the hospital. So, you know, we sat there and did a whole entire weekend where we did that on the whole entire day. We had to sit there and have separate call signs for live calls, and I'm trying to sit there and, you know, see if anybody shows up. Like, right now it's just me chit-chatting. And so what I was going to sit there and talk about also was like your plasma donations and blood donations. And with they are two different things. One, especially plasma donations, you normally go into a center somewhere. They're static, they don't move. With blood donations, on the other hand, by the way, if you hear stuff in the background, it's because my boyfriend's making me coffee. So nice of him. But like, when you go into a plasma center, you go in, with a plasma center, you sit there and they're static buildings. They don't move. Blood donations, sometimes you can sit there and have a blood drive at your business or at a bank or outside of a restaurant, on a bus, or Walmart. That's a big one that I used to do all the time. Walmart. The Kroger's, which I don't know if everybody has Kroger's, but it's a grocery store. So we would sit there and park our big old bus in front of a grocery store and have 4 beds on there, have a couple of histories, so you can sit there and take your temperature, your, normally you always get your hematocrit done because we need to see how much of your red blood cells that you have and if it's healthy enough for you to donate. So like, I'm just trying to sit there and think the best way to describe this. I was trying to sit there and mainly do just plasma donations for today. And then maybe if I get a couple of views, I'll sit there and I'll do regular blood donations. So right now I'm actually working at a plasma center. I'm not going to say who. It is one of the lists that I have listed below. But when you walk into our center, the first thing you do is we sit there and we ask you what... two pieces of identification, well, 2 pieces of mail and a piece of identification, including your social security card. So this is in the United States. So you come in and you give us that information and we start putting you into the system and everything. And there's the creepazoid in the background. Which I have no one watching, honey, so you're fine.
That's okay. It's on demand.
It's on down.
It's on. It's on demand.
Anyways,
because I want to make my fucking whipping cream. So
okay, we're on a keto diet, so he has whipping cream and yogurt to make fat bombs, which he uses to replace all of the sugar that he loves to eat, which is an insane amount. His mom is a pastry chef, so she likes to give him cakes, cookies, any kind of pastry actually, even non sweet pastries, but they're still pastries, so they have lots of sugar and flour and things in it. All right. It's difficult to sit there and be on a keto diet and then make pastries without flour. Just saying. Anyway, so I'm going to talk about donating plasma. So like I said, when you walk in, you first walk in, you go up to the desk and you tell them, like, you give them your mail so we can sit there and put your address in and verify your address, because we do, at least my center, I don't know about every other center. I know there is some address tracking in all of their software, including when I was working at Red Cross. That's why blood donations is going to be separate, because that one I can say mean things. But anyways, so I sat there, you walk in, and I sat there and I did this today, I did donate. You go in, you sit there, and you get brought back to the nurse first, and she puts all of your information into the system and gives you a little physical, which includes, you know, making sure that you don't have any weird bowel sounds, you have good breath sounds, checking about what your medications are, if you have any medical problems that could defer you from being a blood donor or a plasma donor, because there are a couple of different diseases that you are not allowed to donate with, as well as it's not safe for you to donate. And I might get into those a little bit later. But after you walk in, you sit there and you talk to the nurse and everything. You know, they'll be able to sit there and point you in the right direction, which way you're going. You're either going to go start answering questions, which includes basic knowledge questions of like how HIV is transmitted, things like that. Yes, you need to know how HIV is transmitted to donate plasma. Let's see other things. Oh, they check to see if you have any tattoos, like mine. If you have any piercings, how old the piercings are when you got your tattoos done, and how old are they. You can't donate for 12 months after getting a tattoo done. Piercings, they need to be done at a piercing, a tattoo and piercing shop, or you would not be able to donate for, I believe they changed it recently because of COVID-19, and that is to 4 months instead of 12 months. So we were deferring people for 12 months because of getting their ears pierced at like the Piercing Pagoda or Claire's or, you know, Walmart. Those little plastic piercing guns, they do not clean them properly, and they also do damage to your ear. I would never recommend going to one of those places. I got my ears pierced there a long time ago, but you can literally feel the scar tissue, which you shouldn't feel in my ear, if it was pierced properly. Then we also ask about acupuncture because of the needles and puncturing the skin, and not every acupuncturist is the cleanliest, so we do have a deferral on that one for 4 months as well. Well, let's see. So you end up going through all of your questions, you get your quick physical exam done, and then you go to what we call a health history booth, and then you get your hematocrit taken, your blood pressure, your temperature. You also get your weight done for plasma centers. You do not get your weight taken at a blood center, a regular blood center, like whole blood. They will just ask you what your weight is normally. At the plasma center, on the other hand, we weigh you because per your weight is how much we take out in plasma into the bottle. So we have 3 different sizes of bottles. So after you get all of that taken, let's see, I could sit there and go into what, if anybody wants to know what the highest and lowest are, let me know, but again, nobody's watching. So you go back and you go back to the donor floor, and you meet your phlebotomist, which would be me or one of my other coworkers. And I would sit you down and I'd tell you exactly how the procedure happens. So if you were a new donor, my spiel, normally sounds a bit like this. So Hi, how are you doing? My name is Wrennybaby. I'm not going to tell you what my real name is. Actually, I don't know if I've said what my real name is on here. When the cuff is tight, you're going to squeeze your hand, and then when the cuff goes loose, then you relax. Blood goes into my centrifuge here, which is what the machine is a big centrifuge. Your blood goes into the centrifuge, it gets spun out. The plasma goes into the bottle, and the red blood cells go back to you. There is a cycle system, so it'll be a cycle of blood going into the bowl, and then blood going back into you. It's going to be draw and return. So when those cycles are done, you'll go up to this level on your bottle. I normally point out about where you're going to go so that you will know when you're about to be done. And like, I'll say this is the small bottle, which is 690 mils, the medium bottle, which is 825 mils, and then the big bottle, which is 880 mils. Each person, it's a different weight scale. So, weights are between 110 pounds. That is the smallest weight for any blood donation, and that is any blood donation. 110 pounds is the smallest we'll take of any person. So 110 pounds to up to 149 pounds is a 690 bottle, which is 690 milliliters. From 150 pounds all the way up to 174 pounds is a 825 bottle, which is 825 mils. And then anybody heavier than 175 pounds, so my hefty behind and, well, pretty much my whole family, is the big bottle. And that is 880 mils, is, no kidding, almost a liter of water and protein that I am taking off of you. So I request all of my donors to drink massive amounts of water for at least a day or a few hours, because that's how long water takes to get into your system. It's only a few hours before coming in, about 3 or 4. Drink good bit of water, and that is what I will be taking off of you. The water will have gotten into your bloodstream within about 4 hours. It does not take long for water to get into your system. Now, digesting all other kinds of liquids, it's a different story because of what else is in there. But water will get into your system pretty fast, and then we will sit there and take almost a liter off of you. So that's why I always ask all of my donors to sit there and drink massive amounts of water. Even if you sit there and you donate blood, I always recommend drinking lots of water because it makes your veins pop up a lot better. And if your veins pop up better, it means that makes my job a lot easier to deal with. And I have a 17 gauge needle. If y'all don't know what a 17 gauge needle looks like, I'm going to show you my piercings. That is an 18 gauge right there. That one is a 16 gauge. I don't know if you can see very well. It's plastic. But that one is a 16 gauge as well. Just a hair smaller than this earring is what I'm putting into your arm. So I need a good size vein, and the best way to do that, even for small people, is to sit there and drink lots of water. And then, even if they're deep down by your elbow, oh, you can't barely see it. Yeah, okay, so that earring right there, I don't know if you can see very well. Oh well. Anyways, most cartilage piercing are 16 gauges, 18 to 16 gauge. So that's what I'm putting into your arm. So I need a decent sized vein to sit there and put it. Most people have pretty good veins. The only problem is that only about 30% of everyone is actually eligible to donate, and that is including kids. So it's like you only have 30% of all population, at least in the United States, that is eligible to donate. And then only about 70% of those are actually eligible to donate after they get through me screening you and checking to make sure that your iron is high enough, your blood pressure is right, your pulse is okay, your temperature is okay, because our deferral for temperature, just a regular infection, is 99.6. If you're 99.5, you just get by. But 99.6, you get deferred for a day for a fever. Right now, you get deferred for 28 days. And that is because you potentially have the COVID infection. But that's literally because we're just doing really hardcore on not having the virus into our center. We temperature check everybody before they even are allowed to walk in our center. You have to stand outside the door, which is locked, and then get your temperature taken. And that is not even the temperature taken that we use for your donation record. You get your temperature taken twice when you're at our center. So then after you actually finish donating, you do feel a little worn out, and it's just because you're dehydrated. Hey, Factard, how are you doing, sweetie? I just saw you. But yeah, after you donate, you feel a little bit worn out. I'm not too bad right now, but that's because I know how to donate. I drink plenty of water. But after you donate, your plasma will sit there and be in a bottle, and it gets put back into our processing area. And then after it gets processed into the computer, which is pretty much get a shipping label put on the actual bottle. And then that goes into our freezer. Our freezer is a giant walk-in freezer that sits at the outside door. From the outside door into the inside actual freezer is -30 degrees. And then when you actually walk into the freezer where the plasma is stored, that is -60. So your bottle of plasma is needed to get frozen within about an hour of it coming out of your body. It needs to be in the freezer, starting that chill in 30 minutes. That's at least our timing for it. Anyways, I am actually about to smoke a cigarette. So then after your plasma gets put on ice, yes, it gets frozen. Then that ends up getting put onto a freezer truck with all of its little friends. You almost, wow. So, I mean, I'm guessing it's a regular blood donation that you almost passed out on, because those are a little bit more, I find them more invasive. I feel more worn out with a whole blood donation. And that's because you're getting all of your sugar, all of your oxygen, all of your everything getting taken out of your blood and put into a bag. Me, on the other hand, what I'm doing, it's really, we're just sitting there and taking out the water for plasma donations. Water and proteins and hormones. So like a lot of, when I sit there and I scan a bottle and, sit there and figure out who I'm actually sticking, it tells me what your plasma is going to be used for. And a lot of mine is being used for hormone therapies, like testosterone and, let me try, actually I have that written down somewhere. I'm trying to remember. I know we have immunoglobulin for vaccines, like hepatitis A, hepatitis B, flu, measles, polio, tetanus. That's just my company. Like I said, I'm not mentioning their name. I'm just saying what they make. We make also albumin, which they use to for patients that are in shock because of blood loss. There's the RH negative shot, that RhoGAM shots that all women get if they're negative blood types while they're pregnant. It's literally, that shot is to make sure that if your baby is not negative, they're positive, your body or their body do not, let's see, I'm trying to remember how to explain it. It's because the antigens attack the baby. So it literally, your body ends up treating the baby like a fucking parasite, pretty much. And your body treats what your body treats like a parasite, it tries to destroy. So that RhoGAM shot, that you have negative blood type, the baby doesn't have negative blood type, it's to literally prevent your body from attacking your baby and killing it because of the difference in blood types. So that is also another medicine that is made from human plasma. Factor 1, hi, honey, how are you?
GG supplements, great for heavy whipping cream. Dragon fruit punch, GG supplements. 1 scoop per cup, whipped with heavy whipping cream. Num 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 num. King Murphy
I don't know.
73 on Mixer. Check it out, guys.
Okay, that's my husband. Yep, if you had one, yep. And it's literally just to keep your body from not attacking your baby. And yeah, so that's made from human plasma as well. I'm trying to think, but yeah, so literally all your we separate our bottles into I think we separate them into blood type, and then we separate them into type of product that we're going to use. So we'll have either hormones, or we'll have vaccinations, or the factor 1X concentrate, which is actually for hemophiliacs. It's to help with their clotting factors. And he completely threw me the fuck off, I'm telling you. But all of those are what is used, at least on our end, at a plasma center. Right now I know of at least 1 or 2 other places that are giving bonuses for COVID-19 positive patients, or prior COVID. Yeah, you're cured. If you have the antibodies, or you have the potential of having the antibodies, we will take you and we will give you extra money on top of what we already give our donors. We do give our donors money, but there is a law in the United States where you cannot sell body parts. We are technically not selling body parts to another human being to be used on them. We're buying your time. You're donating your plasma. So technically the plasma we are getting from you is free. We are paying you for time. And there are a couple, I have listed them in my description of the different places that people can go to donate plasma. I know a couple in my area are giving very hefty bonuses for COVID positive patients. And that is because they are literally going to be using that plasma to either give it to, not give it to patients. This is not plasma that's going to be given to patients. This is plasma that's going to be put into medications of some kind. This is going to be your vaccines that we have been working on my company and all the other companies that work with plasma. They have been working on vaccines ever since this shit started. Mine happens to be based in Germany and also Australia. And so I know I've been hearing, at least outside of work, that Australia's been doing a lot of research into making the vaccine as fast as possible. And I know they've been doing a hell of a job of containing that anyways. I saw the other day on the Discord that they don't even wear masks or anything because of the social distancing and things. And actually doing social distancing properly. But like at my job, I don't really wear a mask either. I wear a face shield. I wear a face shield and a lab coat and my scrubs. And then I literally take all of that off as soon as, like, I take the mask and the face shield off, or the face shield and the lab coat off at work. But like I strip down as soon as I get into the house because I don't even want to think of that even getting cool. Yeah, no, I don't want it. I don't want half my shit that I have at work in my house. I don't know what, I mean, I clean that stuff on a regular, but still, it's blood products, and I've been in that for a good long bit, and I'm pretty good at that, but still, it's because I sit there and I put all of my shit straight into the laundry as soon as I get home, and that was even on the ambulance. I think that's where I picked it up at, is where I'd gotten blood on me one too many times on the ambulance and needed to sit there and literally put my clothes in the laundry as soon as I got home. Just turned into a habit. But I don't know. You got any, I have nothing else to say really, because all those medications, I already listed them off and everything. I used to have to say that I need to see them at a different location. Like they might literally be at outside your friend's house on a bus. Like we have had that in our town. Actually, for Red Cross, we had a lady that worked with us, and she would actually have a blood drive in front of her house on the street, just a bus, and her whole neighborhood would show up. So, I mean, it was always beneficial for us to sit there and show up because people would show up. But then, they could be in front of a Kroger or a Walmart or something like that. And blood donations, I say, is so, yeah. So the last time I donated blood was with the Red Cross when I first started working there. And then I don't work there anymore. But I was at a high school and I almost passed out in a high school while we were cleaning up because I was like, I'll sit there, and I haven't donated in a while. I'm AB negative. I'm super rare. When it comes to blood, I can sit there and take any negative blood type, so I'm really easy. But my plasma is a universal plasma donor, so I try to stick with just donating plasma because it can be used in a multitude of ways, at least for me. So like right now I feel kind of special. But like like we have to sit there and give you juice and crackers and things like that at the end of your blood donation. That's what but the thing is that blood donation goes almost, there's only like one really big step between you and a patient, which is spinning your blood down from the whole blood to its parts. And at Red Cross, we would sit there and take your bag of blood, put that into a centrifuge, and then spin that out, and then separate that and put it into separate out the plasma and put that into another bag, and then take that plasma and put that in a freezer. And then the red blood cells, it would go on ice to a hospital or onto our. And I will say, I know this for an almost absolute fact, that the blood supply and the plasma supply is horrendous right now. And I don't have to worry about my job because I'll always have donors. I worry about my patients, not my donors. I worry about the patients that are not getting the medicine, who are not getting the blood. Like, there are still accidents going on right now. There are still traumas going on right now. There are still all of those things still going on top of COVID-19. And I have about a quarter of the amount of donors. So I worry about my patients. Sorry, I'm getting... the blood, it gets tested. It does get tested. No, all the blood gets tested. Okay, so red blood cells, I think it does get treated by heat, and that was I learned that one from the documentary Bad Blood. It was a really good documentary. But CSL Behring came up with the cleansing way of how to treat blood, which red blood gets heat treated. But plasma has a different treatment. There's 3 different kinds. Hold on. I actually wrote this shit down. I was actually prepared for all of this. So one is heated. There's one that's kind of with a detergent, and it depends also, the plasma, it depends on which kind of, cleaning or sanitization it does. Yeah, pasteurization. There's a pasteurization. There's also a detergent that they use to kill some, because we don't want to kill all of the bacteria in there, because some of them are going to be vaccines, so we're going to want to keep those viruses alive. But yes, we do have other agents that can like get rid of the other viruses and bacteria that we don't want. Yes, it's cleaned in that way. Yeah. And red blood cells are heat treated. Let's see, the ones that go into medicines, those are like literally cleaned, but they go through, that one goes through a lot more intense process, because I mean, it's going to be spun down again to take out the proteins, take out a lot of the water, and get down to almost just the hormones and the meat and potatoes of the plasma. Not because plasma is 90% water. We want that 10% that's left. That has all the good bits in it. Has all the, the hormones or the testosterone or even I've actually seen rabies vaccines as well. Not in the list on the website for my work, but I know on another one, which is the Saturn Bio. They do rabies vaccines. They are still trying to work on an HIV vaccine. So that plasma center actually does accept HIV positive patients on top of that. And they also do, I know they do a multitude of flu vaccines there as well, but they are the ones, they are giving out a good bit of money for their COVID positive patients. They are, I think they were the largest amount is Saturn Bio. I am not promoting anybody. I'm just saying. I am not promoting anyone because I put those as a list of websites people can go to check everything out. I am trying to save my ass. Just saying. If any of my bosses end up watching, I'm not promoting anybody. Just saying, you can get a lot of money from there. Let's see. Also, I was looking up was for each thing, how many donations it takes per each thing. Okay, so the RH factor for new moms, that one, it is only 0.1%, I guess, or 0.1 donations. Sorry, yeah. It's going down into, it's separating them out. So like 10% of your donation is going to go to that. 70% of your donation is going to potentially go to vaccines out of one donation. Yeah. Albumin, for one vial of albumin, it does take 1.2 donations of plasma or almost 3 donations of whole blood to get one vial of albumin. One vial of the immune deficiency disorder, or IVIG. That's what it was. IVIG. It takes 4 donations of plasma. It takes almost 8 donations of whole blood to make one vial. Antithrombin concentrate, which is the clot buster. That's the one I was thinking of. There's clot busters, and then there's also clotting factors. So there's both of those in there. The clot buster, it takes 20 donations from whole blood and 9 donations from plasma. And then the hemophiliac drug, that's 31 donations of whole blood and 14 donations of plasma. So 14 bottles of plasma go into one vial of concentrate for a hemophiliac patient. So you have to sit there and think, 14 people that donate is just in a day and at my center. So that'd be just 14 for one vial. How many hemophiliac patients do we have? And how many vials are we actually getting now? Like, I'm really sitting there and worried about patients nowadays. Even if we sit there and get enough plasma to sit there and make the vaccine and everything, we just need the damn donors. And I know not everybody can donate. I know that. I know not everybody should donate. I also know there are several people that really just need to get over their fear of a needle. It's really not that bad. Again, I donated today, actually. I need to take that off. But I was just wanting to sit there and give everybody a little bit of information. I'm not getting any questions right now. Or I would continue on. But I think I'm going to go and end up making chili for me and the husband that just force-fed me GG supplement and whipped cream. He's all kinds of about the GG energy powder. It makes an energy drink. It's not bad tasting. It's fruit punch. He put it in some whipped cream, but he sat there and posted a picture on Twitter with 100-ounce jug of it. Ooh, what? Plasma. Plasma can be on ice. It can be held on ice for up to 12 months if needed. To go into another human being, it can only be held for 6 months. And actually, I heard this through the grapevine while I was at Red Cross that the Red Cross actually, and I completely understand why they do it, but they end up taking that plasma that they don't use on other humans, and they do sell that to plasma company or like pharmaceutical companies or plasma centers that sit there and make pharmaceuticals. So yeah, and actually there's hold times on every single bit of your blood. You actually have 45 days hold on whole blood, or sorry, red blood cells, 45 days. And you can only donate every 56 days. Another reason why there's a donor shortage is because there's no high schools or colleges in session right now, and that's our bread and butter, kids. Whole blood donations are all over the place in high schools and colleges. All of them want to sit there and, do something for their fellow mankind when you're younger and whatnot. Well, we sit there and we come in and we get all of our blood donations from high schools. Most of our biggest donations were at high schools. So like we would get Brownsburg High School we did 115. We went to do Buckeyes Boys State, if anybody knows that one. It is a mock government deal that they have in Ohio. And that one normally gets us about 215 units of blood. So, I mean, that is a lot that we're not getting right now. I know the Red Cross has not been doing too bad. Some of my friends that still work there, they are still pretty busy and they are completely booked. But at the plasma center where we're trying to get people to come in, and it's mostly people that just don't know that we're open. Okay, so 16, you have to be at least 16 in the United States to donate red blood cells or whole blood at high school. So 16 years old. For plasma donations, you have to sit there and be at least 18. Yup. And two pieces of mail. Most of the time, if you're a brand new donor, you need to have some form of ID or something like that when you go there. Some plasma centers will sit there and give you a check. Some will, not many do cash anymore. Most of them do like a card, like a bank card, as far as I know. I think some of them still use checks. What's the other thing? I'm trying to think of anything else. Got anything else, Factard? You're keeping this thing alive right at the moment. And I'm absolutely loving you for it. I'm trying to think of anything else. Oh yeah, well, I could sit there and show you the multitude of T-shirts that I have. There was one from Game of Thrones. There was I've got one from a university that made up a T-shirt for. Oh, that's the other thing. LGBTQ. That's the other one I was thinking of. There and get people to come in and for their male gay friends, because blood donations and plasma donations, they sit there and the FDA had outlawed gay men from donating at all. Recently, they started allowing them to donate, but it had to be at least 12 months since the last time that you have had any kind of male-to-male contact. I don't even care about saying it because it's not really a bad word, but it's the part about having anal sex. That is the biggest part of the reason why men who are gay cannot donate, and that is because you have the potential of getting blood on you when you are having sex. It is also a deferrable action if you are male and you have sex with your woman and they are on their period, because you are actually in contact with their blood. It is not different. It is blood. So any kind of contact with blood is normally a 12-month deferral. Currently, they have decreased that to 4 months instead. And that is because of COVID-19. They were trying to sit there and get as many donors in as possible. So yeah, now you cannot go without sex for 4 months if you want to donate. Or honestly, you could just lie, because most people do. Not a lot of people tell the truth on that question in particular, and I do not blame them, because honestly, you can answer whatever you want. We have no right to ask you anything else other than what the date was of the last occurrence. Other than that, we can't ask any questions. For blood drives, I will tell you for Red Cross. So, no, well, I mean, you can. No, you can donate as an EMT. Yes. No, it's literally blood in your body. Because you're having sex, that is potential to getting in you. So that's why. As an EMT, I donated, and I have a lot of EMT friends that donate. So do I also have a firefighter and police officers, nurses, doctors. You sit there and you actually use your PPE properly, and you don't have to sit there and get the blood work done for potential HIV or anything like that. Then you could still donate. Yes. Like we like as an EMT or anybody in the medical field, if we have any kind of blood exposure, we normally get a vigorous test done. We get at least 3 or 4 vials of blood taken to make sure that we don't have HIV or any kind of anything going on. And then 6 months later, we have another round of tests that we get taken just in case. And then we also sit there, and most of the time, we will also have the patient or the donor have their blood as well taken to make sure that their blood is not contaminated. It gets pretty deep into it if there's actually a stick exposure or a blood exposure or something like that. But that blood exposures are actually very rare. It's even in working at a plasma center where we're sticking people every day. We have a potential of blood literally spraying anywhere. It's actually very minimal. And that's just because we have a lab coat that literally hugs around my neck, and then a face shield that when you look down, it completely blocks everything. The closest I've ever gotten was getting blood in my hair, and I just washed that out. I have gotten blood really close to my eye one time, and that was working at Red Cross, and I was doing a finger stick, and the blood shot into my face, and I was just like, oh, that's interesting. The guy profusely apologized, and I just started laughing, and I grabbed an alcohol wipe and cleaned it off. I've never been that skittish around blood. So my mom's a nurse and would come home and tell me about ER horror stories. So, but anyways, everybody needs to try to go out and donate if they can. Depends on which one you want your blood to go to. I mean, if you want to sit there and make sure that your blood goes straight into another human being, I would say go to the Red Cross or to another local blood donation center. Hi, thanks. No, I'm still streaming, honey. What?
Need a refill?
No, not right now.
Okay.
Can I go? I'm almost done. But anyways, if you want to make sure that your blood goes into another human being pretty much straight into another human being, go and donate whole blood or just donate red blood cells, which you can get with the Red Cross local blood donation centers. If you want to sit there and potentially help with making the vaccine or other medications that, like for hemophiliacs or even the Rh factors, the immune globulin, my voice has stopped working. Albumin or the clot buster, the antithrombin concentrate, those you want to sit there and actually look at Plasma Center, which I have a list of them below. The ones that are in my area are CSL, BioLife, Grifols. There's one of GCAM. They tried to hire me and they didn't know how to answer the phone in the middle of the day. So they can't answer the phone. They're not getting me to work for them. They wanted me to train a bunch of people too, which is weird. And then there's also, I had another one listed down below, I believe, Saturn Bio as well. Those are all plasma centers, but really you can just click into Google and type in plasma center near me and you'll be able to find one. Just shop around for plasma centers because they do give fees. So it depends on if you want to sit there and do what some plasma donors do, which is jump around from plasma center to plasma center and just getting the new donor fees. Or you can sit there and find a plasma center that you really like and stick with them and stay with them for a really long time. I have donors that have been donating for like 30 years. So, and I love them absolutely to death. And they're the ones that sit there like bring us in like cakes and cookies and whatnot, or as our little tip. So anyways, all right, I'm going to go make some dinner for tonight. I'm going to have some keto chili, some no beans, and all the other good stuff. All right. I guess I'll see you guys all on Discord or whatever chat I may find you in. Okay? Bye. Especially you, Factard. Mwah.